Periscope. All right, my peeps out there. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. Coach Michael Burt coming to you from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Right here in the Burt Studios. We're about to shoot an episode of Super Coach. It's coming on this afternoon at 2 p.m. Central Standard, 3 Eastern on Grant Cardone Television. Here's my notes. You see, I always come prepared. I never, ever wing it when it comes to doing anything big. I could, but I don't, because I don't think professionals wing anything, man. I think they prepare. So today we're talking 7-year itch. How to never get bored or burned out in your relationships, specifically in your work. So this will be about a 45-minute show. Hang in there with us and watch it. Pull it up on your computer or phone or whatever and just listen to it, because, man, there's some good stuff, some advice I'm going to give to my own self, because this is the 7th year I've been running Michael Burt Enterprises. So I don't want you to get bored. Hope you enjoy the show. And you can see how we do it backstage before we make it front stage this afternoon on Grant Cardone Television. Typically, I do this show live, but we're doing it this morning. Go ahead and pre-record it based on schedule, some other things we got going on. Okay, so great to see you and enjoy. Post your comments out there, and then let's go take it to the next level. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Super Coach. Every week we come to you 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Whatever It Takes Network or Grant Cardone TV. I'm Coach Michael Burt, the Super Coach, and thank you for us coming into your life. We believe everybody needs a good coach in life. A good coach will really do 3 things for you. They make you have conversations you don't want to have. I'm going to do that today. Make you do some things you don't want to do. Do that today. But hopefully you'll let a good coach help you become something you didn't think you could become. Super Coach is based on a premise. Everybody needs a coach in life. You don't need just a regular coach. You need a super coach. And that is a cross between a former championship coach who has an entrepreneurial mind. And I want to do 3 things for you. Multiply your life, superhuman levels. Multiply your business, superhuman levels. Multiply your money to superhuman levels. And we always, always, always find the kryptonite in your life. And the kryptonite, baby, is that one thing that's holding you back. Just like Clark Kent of Superman had a little kryptonite in Lois Lane, we all got some kryptonite. We all got something that's holding us back. And today we're talking about, great subject, especially if you've been in a relationship for a long time, you've been in business for a long time, and that is the 7-year itch. How do you avoid boredom and burnout as you build your business and build your life? How do you avoid boredom and burnout as you build your business? Now, let me give you a definition, a working definition of the 7-year itch. Okay, here's a working definition. This is a psychological term that suggests that happiness in a relationship, and your work is nothing more than a relationship with a purpose. If you don't believe in the purpose, the cause of the purpose, the people of the purpose, then here's what you will not do. You will not give your whole self to the purpose. It suggests that happiness in a relationship declines around the 7-year mark of that relationship. This phrase originated for irritating and contagious skin complaints of a long duration. Hey, you got it right here? You got it right here? This morning I woke up here after the gym, and I had it right here. 7-year itch. Now, let me tell you what got me thinking about this topic. Just a few weeks ago, I noticed on my LinkedIn profile that I began to get a lot of congratulations. I mean, one after another after another. And we do some pretty cool things here at Michael Burt Enterprises, and I get to coach thousands of people, and I'm honored by that. I'm honored to be their coach, but I was like, man, did we do something this week that I don't know about? Because I couldn't think of what we had done that would be that cool to get the congratulations. And then I noticed that LinkedIn had put out there that it was the 7-year anniversary of the founding of my company, Michael Burt Enterprises. Now, a couple years before that, we had a business I called Maximum Success. Maximum Success morphed into Michael Burt Enterprises. The next evolution we're getting ready to go to is a concept called the Greatness Factory. I'll be releasing that in the next few weeks. It is set to open January 1st of 2016. It is a unique destination that people come to from all over the country where we manufacture greatness. We take people from all walks of life and we manufacture greatness. We have unique programs for entrepreneurs in Monster Producer, Children's School of Greatness, sales professionals in the Cheetah School of Selling, managers turn your managers into coaches, and membership models for enlightened and growth-minded individuals. That's coming January 1st, 2016, and I am so excited about that. But the evolution of Michael Burt Enterprise started 7 years ago. In 2008, I had retired from coaching high school basketball. I had come off where I'd won 75% of my games out of 300-something games, and I started a business. Now, one thing I want you to think about is this. When you grow something 7 years in, here's what it's going to feel like. Because that particular night, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was probably a month ago. I was exercising on a Friday night. I was out getting some exercise in. I was listening to some things, and I was thinking about this 7-year anniversary. And although all these congratulations were pouring in, I was actually very frustrated. I was frustrated because here was what I was thinking. This is as far as we've gotten in 7 years, 80-hour work weeks, 10 books in the market, a reality TV show, my own. This is as far as we are. Man, I was deflated. Instead of being happy, I was sad because it felt like we hadn't made as much progress as I wanted to be. Because when you compare, you always compare up. And I was comparing myself to Tony Robbins and John Maxwell and Grant Cardone and all of these people. And I was sad, okay? And so what I felt was a little burnout. I felt a little deterioration. And burnout is when you lose joy or passion for what you have. And I said, man, we've been going hard. And I just don't feel like we're making the kind of progress that we want to make. And so it was at that moment that I realized that a massive breakthrough is about one thing, momentum. You're trying to have a breakthrough in your life. You're trying to have a breakthrough in your relationship. You're trying to have a breakthrough in your business. And here's what I would tell you. That breakthrough could be right around the corner. Do you know how many people give up right at the edge, right at the door? They're standing in the corridor of their dreams, man, and they just give up a week too early, a year too early, and they're so close to having a breakthrough. I realized that I was fighting off the 7-year itch. And what is the 7-year itch? A psychological term that does what? Suggests that happiness in a relationship declines after 7 years. You've been married 7 years? It's when a lot of people wonder. It's when a lot of people look out there. When a lot of people start thinking the grass is greener on the other side. But it's not always greener on the other side because that grass has still got to be mowed. So how do you not feel broken down? How do you not get this 7-year itch? Today we're going to tackle this because here the gap that you're looking at is really a gap between where you are versus where you want to be, and you're getting deflated. So there's two things that this gap serves in your life. This gap between where you are and where you want to be. Number one, it irritates you because you never feel like you're where you should be in terms of success and the timing that you're creating. Timing's never going to be right for anything. Timing to get started is never going to be right. The money's not going to be right. The relationships are not going to be right. The timing is never going to be right. You just got to take a big, big step. Number two, the gap between where you are and where you want to go actually motivates you. It actually motivates you. So I don't want you burned out today. I don't want you experiencing this irritating thing because you're at the 7-year itch. And today I'm going to get you remotivated. I'm going to teach you how to reinvent yourself. Get re-excited about it. And that's what we're going to be talking about on Super Coach today. Now let me give you some kryptonite to get us started. One thing that's going to keep you and hold you back. Kryptonite number one. Hey, you are in burnout because of boredom. You ask any top performer that goes out every day and does the same thing, success can be boring, man. You know why? You go out and kick people's butts. You go to bed, you wake up and do it all over again. It can be incredibly boring. And so here's what happens. That's your first kryptonite that you got. You are in burnout because of boredom. Your work and your life is not challenging you. Therefore, you've checked out, man. You call it in, what we say. You just call it in, man. You show up, you go through the motions, but you don't have any fire. You don't have any intensity. You're in bored out. You're in bored out mode. You're burned out because of boredom. Now, when we come back in segment number 2, I'm going to teach you a little trick that Dan Sullivan taught me called the 80% rule. Instead of getting everything to 100%, how do we get it to 80% and be completely happy with that? You're watching Super Coach, and I'm Coach Michael Burt. Hey guys, if you're out there watching me on Periscope, today I'm talking 7-year itch. And I've personally fought this off. I'm in my 7th year building my business. And we try to put together a show every single week that, man, just really strikes a chord. I believe everybody needs a coach in life. They don't just need any coach, they need a super coach. That's a cross between a former championship coach who has an entrepreneurial mind. And that's a person who coaches all 4 parts of your nature: your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit. And I am jacked up and excited about this Greatness Factory. We met with the developer yesterday. We've got a brand new building. We've got a new facility called the Greatness Factory. It's a place where we take people from all walks of life and we manufacture greatness. We will have programs both in person, where you get coached by me and my team of experts, and online for any person in the world. So shout out to all my international listeners. Rodrigo out there in Mexico, thank you for being one of our customers. We appreciate you and we love you. We're coming back into segment 2, and we're going to be talking about the 80% rule, how to get something to 80%. If you don't notice what I'm looking at my Monster Producer Planner. By the way, you can get those at CoachBurt.com. It's an unbelievable planner that keeps me focused during the day. It's got every one of my schedules, my appointments, everything on here, and my hit list, my targets. So every day is an important day. We're about to go live.
Ten seconds.
10 seconds, Brandon Ray saying. Come on back, Super Coach, guys. Everybody needs a coach in life. I'm Coach Michael Burt, the cross between a former championship coach who has an entrepreneurial mind. You're watching Super Coach, or you can listen to us every single week on iTunes, Android. You can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, my favorite app. All you got to do is type in Super Coach, search Super Coach, Coach Michael Burt, and notice I do spell my name Micheal, because everybody needs a coach in life. Follow me at Michael Burt. Now, if you want to know more about us, go to CoachBurt.com. We believe everybody needs a good coach in life. If you want to spend some time with me, join me in Cabo. Join me in Cabo, San Lucas, Mexico, September 18th through the 21st. My second summit of the year. The first one was in Monster City, New York City. And I don't know of a better place to do a conference than Cabo. 4 days with me, the Super Coach, 12 hours of instruction, personal time with me. I will coach you through your business on monster levels, monster selling, monster production, monster exposure. Monster person of interest, monster zebra and cheetah, everything about our Monster Producer program. I condense it over a couple-day period, so we look forward for you to join us. Go to CoachBurt.com/MP Summit and spend some time with us in Mexico. All right, today we're talking 7-year itch. Hey, feeling like I got an itch right here. Feel like I got an itch right here on my head. You know why? I got a 7-year itch. You know what 7-year itch is? It is a period of burnout and boredom where you lose passion for what you're doing. It happens many times in relationships and in marriages. So when you start looking elsewhere, getting yourself in trouble, it happens in business. When you start taking your eye off the prize or your money generator, it taking off your unique abilities. So my business is in its 7th year, Michael Burt Enterprises. And I noticed a few weeks ago, I wasn't having any fun. I don't think that business should always be fun, but I think if you go be an entrepreneur, it's a person that takes risks, takes lower levels of productivity to higher levels of productivity, low thoughts of value to high thoughts of value. I think you should enjoy it. We're going to spend 35 to 50, maybe even more years of our life working. You should enjoy it. So I started feeling this 7-year itch. Boredom, burnout, need something new, need something fresh, need something on fire. And so I started thinking in terms of how do I get myself out of this period of life? How do I get myself out of boredom? And it reminded me of something one of my coaches, Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, taught us. It's called the 80% rule. And the 80% rule said this. What if you could change the way you see success so that you're not always frustrated, that you're not always measuring where you are versus where you think you should be, but you could actually measure success in terms of 100% actually at 80%. You see, this rule teaches me that there's two ways to measure success. Quantitative, this is hard, tangible numbers. Numbers never lie. We know if we're up this month over last month, up this year over last year. It's not uncommon for the people that we coach to grow their business by 40 or more % in a one-year cycle. That's a quantitative, tangible number. Okay? But there's also another way to measure progress. Qualitative. Qualitative is not something you can measure, but it's something you can feel. You can feel yourself getting better. You know that progress is happening. You know you're building momentum. You see, my business is growing some this year, not as much as it did last year, but I can feel it getting better. We're moving to a new concept, the Greatness Factory, unique destination. People from all around the world come to manufacture greatness. We got programs for entrepreneurs, kids, managers, sales professionals, enlightened and growth-minded people. That is progress. And so when you think about this, if you start thinking about ways to get something to 80%, for example, when I have an idea, as soon as I have that idea, I try to knock that idea out right then. I try to get the idea to 80%. See, we operate on a 100% concept. Very few things in the world you'll ever get to 100%. You show me something that has 100% with no defects in it, and I don't believe it. I write a book, it's got defects in it. We create a program, it's not perfect. We create something, if I could get something to 80%, then most likely you could get it all the way. Plus, people never know it's at 80%. If I was giving you 80% of my momentum today, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know if I was at 80 or 90, 100%. But if I gave you 80%, 80 is pretty darn good. We think in terms of 100. We think in terms of perfect. So when I was having that 7-year itch in my business, here's my problem. I was measuring where my business was versus perfection. I was not measuring versus progress. Hey, are we 100% there with our business? No. But are we 80% there? Yes. Could we get 80% customer satisfaction? Could we get 80% of the people in the world to get on board with us? Could we get 80%? See, I go in and coach a lot of companies, and they have a myth. Hey, 100% are going to jump on board. 100% are going to get on board with Coach Bird. 100% are going to do what he says. 100% are going to use his planners. It's baloney, man. You ain't going to get 100% of people on board with you. If you get to 80, you'll be doing good. So here's the concept. Sullivan always said if we could get something to 80%, it's close enough to perfect. There's an old country music song called Close Enough to Perfect, right? If I can get something close enough to perfect, here's what I want to tell you. Done is better than perfect. When I was working on my doctoral programs, I was in classes in Atlanta, Georgia with other people from all over the country, and that we would get in a room and we would stay up for hours working on a project. And we would try to get it just perfect. And I started saying, guys, done is better than perfect. You know one of the reasons you've got burnout? One of the reasons you've got a 7-year itch is because you're measuring everything versus perfection. Where you are versus where you think you should be. You should be measuring where you are today versus where you used to be in the past. We're not where we want to be, but thank God we're not where we used to be. The way I avoid burnout is to know every day I get a fresh start, and if I can get it to 80%, I need to be happy. Now, let me give you some kryptonite, because let me tell you something. Kryptonite's the one thing holding you back. Number two, here's what I know. You're operating in a mechanical state versus a rejuvenated state. I have reoriented my schedule. This afternoon, I'm going to pick my daughter up at school. She's 2.5 years old. She's going to be surprised when Daddy shows up at 2 o'clock to pick her up, because she never gets to see her Daddy till 6 or 7. You see, I'm reorienting my schedule to stay rejuvenated and on fire versus mechanical and burnout. Mechanical is, I mail it in. I just mail it in. I'm rejuvenated is to make young again. I'm on fire. I don't have a 7-year itch. I think we're just getting started. Because of this, you're close to burnout. See, if you burn that engine in mechanical mode for too long, here's what happens. You burn out. And when I say you burn out, you've been running that engine, and the check oil engine is on, and you're tired, and you're frustrated, and you're fighting through, but you're just mailing it in. There is no significant impact because you're not rejuvenated. When we come back in the next segment, I'm going to teach you how to avoid burnout and boredom in your business. If you're 7 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, or even if you're close to retirement, I'm going to show you how you can feed all 4 parts of your nature to never be burned out again. You're watching Super Coach, and I'm Coach Michael Burt. All right, guys, you out there watching? I can't see what you're saying, but
They're loving it.
get some hearts over there.
Tons of them.
Avoid burnout, avoid boredom. That's what we're talking about today, and I'm speaking from experience. I want you guys to know something. I'm not here and talk down to people down here, as most coaches do. There's a lot of people that are multimillionaires, and I've been watching the men who built America: Carnegie, Vanderbilt, J.P. Morgan.
Maryland.
It's getting ready to get into Henry Ford. Fascinating documentary. These men operated at such a level, man. It was fascinating, but they always understood this. They had a passion for what they did. Many of them were ruthless. I don't know how I feel about that. And they undercut and backdoor and cutthroat business, but they saw a vision for something that had not yet manifested. And I really feel like that's what our greatness factor is going to be, because when in everyone's life at some point, you wake up and either through failure or hardship or frustration, you make a decision to be great. And when you make a decision to be great, where do you go? Spend a couple $1,000 to go to a conference on the weekend? I want to give people a place that when they want to become great, they can come to. And we have a simple, streamlined process that is an environment where people are highly likely to be transformed. That's my vision of the Greatness Factory. And that thing is opening January 1st here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It's about 20 minutes outside of Nashville. We have in-person and online places, and I just want to let you know about it, because I'm going to be talking about it the next 6 months, getting people excited. I'd like to hear comments, too, on this burnout. I'm getting ready to move into burnout, which is where you lose joy or passion for something. And I'm going to talk about how I engage all 4 parts of my nature: body, mind, heart, spirit.
All right.
Welcome back, Super Coach Show, every Tuesday on Grant Cardone Television. Whatever it takes, baby. That's what we do here at Super Coach. We believe everybody needs a coach in life, but not just any coach. You need a super coach. You can listen to us every week on iTunes. Search Super Coach. You can click us on Android, my favorite app, Stitcher Radio. Just save it to favorites and listen to it every single week. And we bring you stuff to multiply your life and your money and your business to what? Superhuman levels. We also try to find a kryptonite in your life. And let me give you some kryptonite today, because here's the deal. Not real kryptonite. Let me tell you what was some of my kryptonite. Just a few weeks ago, it was the 7-year anniversary of my business. And I didn't even realize it was a 7-year anniversary until LinkedIn reminded me. And I was exercising on a Friday night, and I was dejected, man. I was depressed. I was sad. And even a super coach gets sad every now and then. And I was sad because I know how hard we've worked. And it seemed like we weren't as far down the road as I wanted to be. My vision is to be an international thought leader. It's to be on the likes of a Tony Robbins or a Stephen Covey or a Cardone or any of the people that you think are really influencers out there in the world. And I felt like we weren't making that much progress, so I was frustrated. And it got me thinking about the 7-year itch. Am I bored? Do I need to reinvent myself? Do I need to come up with a new concept? Am I just doing the average? And then it really dawned on me, guys. And I'm a religious and spiritual person, and it really hit me. I felt like God was telling me, "Hey, you're just getting started, man. You're just getting started. This thing is going to be blessed and multiply. You're going to help a lot of people in the world, but you're just now figuring out who you are, why you matter to the world, and what you offer. And I think it comes down to simplicity." And if you're thinking about simplicity in your business, think of it in terms of this. I'm going to do a show on it called The Simple Business coming up in a few weeks. And here's the deal. Money only changes hands when problems are solved. So what problems will people pay you to solve? Okay? Who will actually pay you to solve them? How do you and your unique ability solve them different than everybody else? How do you get the word out to people? That's marketing. And how do you deliver on experience so strong that they tell other people? That's simple business, man. That's taking complicated things, make it simple. And so I was thinking about this burnout and boredom. So I was thinking, man, I'm just getting started. I'm just now figuring business out. I was a basketball coach for a decade. I'm just now figuring out what it is I want to say to the world and the legacy that I want to have. So if you're out there today and you got burnout because of boredom, let me share some techniques that I use. Number one, what is burnout? Burnout is where you lose joy or passion for something. It can be your spouse. It can be your business, because your business is just a relationship with a purpose. Your relationship with your spouse or your significant other, that's a relationship with them. Your relationship with your children. And so when you think about it, this comes as a result of operating in what's called a mechanical mode. Checking it in, cashing it in, mailing it in for so long versus a rejuvenated state, to where eventually you burn your engine up. You go so hard for so long in a mechanical mode. Okay, you're just checking it in, man. You're mailing it in to where you burn out. And so this can result from doing the same task over and over with no variety, or spontaneity, or as a result of no periods or break from or break with what you're doing. And I would tell you this, the word rejuvenation means to make young again. So we burn out when we have no break from what we're doing. My granddad always said, if you eat banana pudding every day for 10 years, you eventually get tired of eating it. So when you think about this, many times if I can just get a day off from the pressure and a good night's sleep, and I can reorient my schedule, and I can really hone in all four parts of my nature. So let me teach you my secret for being rejuvenated. Number one, the body, exercise. This morning I'm in the gymnasium. Get up at 5:30. Typically on Tuesday and Thursday, I get up at 4:30. I'm in the gym at 5 with a personal trainer. I work out till 6, and I'm working on my body. I'm working on my body. Number two, my mind, constant engagement. I'm constantly learning. I'm about to shadow 4 CEOs or chairmen of billion-dollar companies over the next 3 months. I'm learning. So I've got a wide expansion of things. Number three, my heart. That's relationships. That's passion. Okay, that's one. And number four, spirit, weekly worship, one-on-one time with the big man upstairs. How can we stay focused? Okay, that's my spiritual connection. Okay, so the way I go to work on avoiding burnout and boredom is I go to work on all four parts of my nature: my body, my mind, my heart, and my spirit. If I get burned out in one of those 4 areas, I am fragmented. I'm not a whole person. So I go to work on the body, on the mind, on the heart, on the spirit. And I've even thought about, how do I make every day a Saturday? Yeah, I love Saturdays. I can relax. I can go at my pace. I can read. I can spend time with the family. I can be incredibly productive. So what I think about is, how do I reorient my work schedule to get in a flow or peak state? How do I get in a peak state? So here will be what my schedule looks like every week. Sunday, rejuvenation, worship, family, planning, anticipation for a new opportunity. Monday, backstage, planning, strategy, team meeting, process, systems. I'm very seldom front stage on Mondays. And we just signed a contract yesterday with a $1 billion bank. And I'm going to be working on some of those Mondays, so I reorient that schedule, because I just see that I have 365 days a year to get to pick and choose any way I want to use those. I don't see Monday to Friday. So my buffer day is typically Monday, backstage. Tuesday through Thursday is what I call front stage, okay? Money generated, intense, focused, performing. Think of an entertainer on stage. Friday, backstage. Study the week. Prepare for next week. Meet with the team. Saturday off. Creative. Dreaming. Study. Recharge. You see how I'm reordering the schedule? So now I've got 3 focus days, 1 creative day, 1 rejuvenation day, and 2 backstage days so I can prepare. So on days like today when I'm performing, I can be totally on my A game. Now let me give you some kryptonite. When it comes to kryptonite number 3, there is no rejuvenation in your life. You don't have any break from And a lot of people think in this country, we've actually got it backwards, that we'll just work ourselves to death and then give ourselves a day off because we deserve a day off. No, you deserve a day off for one reason. Athletes cannot perform 365 days per year. An entertainer cannot perform 365 days per year. The reason you build in rejuvenation is so you don't get in mechanical mode and burn out. You see, today I'm refreshed. I'm rejuvenated, but last night I got plenty of sleep. This weekend I was able to spend time with my family, rejuvenate, worship, get ready to go. So now, this week I'm rejuvenated. I've got Thursday as a protected day, Friday as a protected day, Saturday a family day. So what I'm doing is when I peak up, man, I'm going to take it all the way. I'm going to bring everything I've got, and then I'm going to power down. So your kryptonite is there is no rejuvenation, which means to make young again. You won't take time to recharge your batteries, and therefore your batteries are flickering. You ever seen a low battery where the lights is flickering in and off? It's not very good. The reception's not very good. It's not very strong. That's what's happening to you, man. Your battery's right here, and it's tired. When we come back in the final segment, I'm going to get you out of here by recapping this show on how to avoid the 7-year itch. Burnout and boredom, how to always reinvent. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the final segment. How do you reinvent yourself to keep yourself supercharged? You're watching Michael Burt, and I'm the Super Coach.
What are you doing over there? Oh, it was thunder.
Interrupting our show. Hey guys, I got one more segment. It's going to be about 5 minutes long. And what I'm going to be talking about in this segment is how to reinvent yourself. A lot of people want to know this from me because I was a high school women's basketball coach. I had never made more than $60,000 in my life. I began writing books at 25 years old, a little book called Changing Lives Through Coaching. That little book, people began to ask me to speak. I spoke at basketball banquets for elementary kids. I spoke at companies, and I started studying Lou Holtz, Mike Krzyzewski, people that were out there speaking on the speaking circuit. And I went to a workshop one day. A woman named Terry Sterling, I think, led the workshop. And I paid $99 to go, and I sat in the back of the room, and I said, I can do what she's doing. I can do that. I got a book. We're starting to win some games. I can go out and speak. And then I began getting compensated for speaking. That led to people and companies saying, will you come in and coach our people? That led to coaching. So now I've really got 3 skills. I'm a basketball coach, I'm an author, and I'm speaking, and I'm coaching. I got 4 skills. And if you ever read Jim Rohn, he talks about his first skill was milking cows. Then he learned how to build a team and recruit. So then he started building skills. The more skills you have, the more you get compensated. And one book turned into 10. I'm working on a couple new books right now. One called The Greatness Factory, how you take your place of business and turn it into a place of greatness. I'm working on Everybody Needs a Coach in Life. And I've got a passion on my heart to write one called The Simple Business. And so these are book projects I'll be working on during sabbatical and when I take time off to rejuvenate. So I've reinvented myself, and probably most likely will be reinventing myself again. We went from Maximum Success to Michael Burt Enterprises. We're getting ready to move to a concept called a Greatness Factory. So, final segment. Let's buckle down, man. This is when you buckle down and see what you got. Hey guys, welcome back. Super Coach every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern on the Grant Cardone television. And we're talking about how you reinvent yourself. How do you avoid the 7-year itch, burnout because of boredom? It's been a fun topic for me because I've actually been facing this in my own life. 7-year anniversary of Michael Burt Enterprises. I don't want you to burn out. And so if we recap the show, I started off by saying the first problem is when you compare up, you compare yourself to other people. You never compare down. So you get frustrated. You're frustrated because of the gap. Here's where you are. Here's where you think you should be. There's a gap between that. That gap serves as 2 purposes. One, it serves to frustrate you because you're not making progress that you want to make, and it serves to motivate you because it encourages you to stretch and reach and grasp. Then I moved into the second part of the show about how to get to 80% versus 100%. I know a lot of people out there going, huh, what? I mean, I hear people say this, hey, give 150%. How can you give 150%? 100% is whole, right? I very seldom see a person operating at 100%. Is that our goal? Yes. And there are days that I hit 100%. There are days that I think, man, I am as close to my potential as I can get today. And then that ceiling raises. Then there's days that I think, man, if I could get it to 80%, I'd be in great shape. If I could get if I get a project to 80%, done is better than perfect. And a lot of people are not going to tell you that. A lot of motivational speakers are going to say, give 100%, give 100%. Yeah, of course. But man, there's all kinds of factors that affect 100%. So if I can get a project to 80 and then push it across the finish line, I've learned to be okay with that because I'm a perfectionist by nature. Then I talked about how I nourish all four parts of my nature: body, mind, heart, and my spirit. I go to work on my body, that's physical; my mind, that's engagement, that's learning, that's IQ, that's learning new things. My heart, that's my relationships, that's my passion. I guard my heart. I protect my heart from things that I think will drag it down. I don't want to get involved in relationships that are toxic, that give me bad energy. And my spirit, which has to do with my faith, has to do with my worship every week. It has to do with my personal time with the big man upstairs. And am I in alignment in multiplying my gifts? Am I using my gifts for the good of the world? And so when you think about it, this 7-year itch has to do with becoming in mechanical versus burnout mode. And many times you may need to reinvent. And so reinvention of yourself, we have the ability every day to hit the reset button. I reinvented from a high school basketball coach to at first a motivational speaker and author, to then a coach, to then a business and entrepreneurial coach, then eventually to the super coach, then the super coach to a person who founded the Greatness Factory, which is coming in January 1 of 2016, a unique destination where people of all walks of life come and we manufacture greatness like a factory. We put you in a simple system to help you become great, because I think at some point in your life, you make a decision to become great, either through pain or hardship or just frustration of grief of your own potential. And so reinvention is this. I wake up and I say, I want more. I want to reinvent myself. That could be a transformation in the body. And I'm not talking about Bruce Jenner transformation, although he did reinvent himself from Bruce to Caitlin. But I'm talking about a reinvention of who you are. Okay, when we come out with this super coach concept, a lot of people ask me where the concept came from. It didn't come from me. It came from my buddy Grant Cardone. I was in Miami Beach there with his team, and he wanted me to speak to his team that day while I was in town shooting a couple shows, power players and this, and he tweeted out, we have the super coach in town with us. What should we ask him? And I thought, man, that's pretty cool. It's not just a coach, it's a super coach, and a super coach is a cross between this, and it's what really makes me different. So when you reinvent yourself, you basically taking your talents and saying, I haven't exposed my talents in a new way. I've got talent that I'm not projecting to the market, and I need to reinvent and recalibrate something. A lot of people just stay the same course their whole life. Now tell me, how boring is that? How mechanical is that? How robotical is that? You want to talk about burnout? Do the same thing for 50 straight years. Oh, you'll get burned out. If I had to wake up and go do the same thing every Monday, I'd be like, man, I'm out. Everybody tries to get me to pick a vertical in what I do today. They try to say, just speak to real estate agents, just speak to entrepreneurs. And here's what I tell them, man, I get bored. I love working with people in competitive and saturated markets to give them a competitive advantage through coaching. I love the different industries I work in. Why don't I give that up and pick one, man? That's boring. Okay? So when you think about burnout and reinvention, you can do it. But the first sale you got to make is to your own self. The first sale you got to make is to you. Every day in the morning you wake up and you sell yourself to yourself. And if you can't sell yourself to yourself, if you won't buy you, then why should anybody else? Don't get bored or burned out. Let me give you the final kryptonite. I'm going to get you out of here, guys. You're looking at your schedule, and it's one big mess. It's one big mess. You got all kinds of things like Neapolitan ice cream that's melted and chocolate and strawberry vanillas all together. That's what your life and your schedule looks like. You got no direction. You got no purpose. You got no focus about you. And you need to simplify it before it overpowers you. If you looked at my schedule, I have front stage days, I have backstage days, I have creative days, and I have off days. And you know why? To avoid burnout. I believe everybody needs a good coach in life. Good coach will have conversations with you don't want to have. They make you do some things you don't want to do. But boy, they'll help you become something you didn't think you could become. Every week I come to you to do 3 things to multiply your life and your money and your business. You can follow us on the Grant Cardone television. Watch the show live every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, or listen to us on iTunes, Android, or Stitcher Radio. I challenge you this week, don't get bored or burn out. Hey, and don't ever fall victim to the 7-year itch. You think the grass is greener on the other side, that grass has still got to be mowed. Have a great week, everybody. All right, guys, you got to see it right there. That was a Super Coach show. About, 37 minutes?
Yeah.
37 to 40 minutes. And I just want you to know, if you're burned out, you got the 7-year itch. I just wanna really encourage you. You flipping it around for me?
Trying to.
All right, if you're out there, number one, I appreciate you tuning in to the Periscope. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the love. I'm going to make a commitment to you to do more of these because I really believe this is an intimate way to get to know each other. And today I've told you a lot of my story. I've been fighting off the 7-year itch and burnout myself. It's really where this topic came from. And almost every topic that I do, just to be honest with you, comes from something I'm going through in my life, in my business. And so I'm right there fighting the fight with you guys. I am right there in the boat with you. I'm not a person that's in some kind of superior state to people I'm coaching. I am right there with you. So everything I'm going through, I'm sharing it with you. I'm a practitioner that speaks on what I practice, and I just don't want you to go through this 7-year itch and cash it in. And I want to close with this. You are just one person away from a new season in your life. You're just one person away from a new season, and you are right on the edge of a breakthrough. And it may be your 7th year, it may be your 10th year, but here's what I want to encourage you. Don't just mail it in, man. You never experience greatness by just checking in and staying in mechanical mode. So I love you. Thank you for having me today. And be on the lookout, CoachBert.com, man. I'm jacked up about this Greatness Factory. I want to see some of you there, man. It's a place where we manufacture greatness. And at some point in our life, we all make that decision to become great. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.